I spent 24 years as a corporate nomad, flying from Connecticut to Silicon Valley to all points in between, living in courtyard Marriotts, missing my daughter's swim meets and softball games. I made great money, but I was building everyone else's wealth except my own family's. And the crazy part, I read Rich Dad Poor Dad in 2008, and it fundamentally changed the way I think about things. But it took me nearly 3 years to buy my first rental property. Today, I'm going to tell you exactly why I was terrified to pull the trigger and how one realtor literally forced me to stop being a tire kicker and finally get in the game. Whether you're stuck in corporate life, cranking a wrench, pouring coffee, or checking people out, and you're wondering if there's something better out there, hit that subscribe button because I'm about to show you the exact path I took from tech treadmill to real estate freedom. So let me paint a picture of what my life looked like back in 2008. I was living in Connecticut with my wife and two little girls, but Monday through Thursday, I was literally living in hotels. Ariba, now part of SAP, had me flying from New York to Mountain View, California, to Chicago and Dallas, London, and anywhere else they needed me. Then I joined Coupa Software as employee number 32, which was really cool. Still commuting from Connecticut, so as an early stage employee, I'm flying cross country every week. Travel got just as crazy when I was with DocuSign. Seattle one week, San Francisco the next, Denmark the next. Do you know what it's like trying to maintain relationships with your family when you're sleeping in a different hotel every single night? Sunday night became this pit in my stomach, the Sunday scaries, as they call it. Now, knowing I'd miss another week of bedtime stories, of parent-teacher conferences, another soccer match, my wife was essentially a single parent for 4 days a week. But here's what really bothered me. I was making good money with bonuses and equity and all that other good stuff. But I had zero control over my time, zero control over my schedule. I was successful in every metric that mattered in corporate America, but I felt like I was failing at the things that mattered most to me. And if this resonates with you, that feeling of being successful but not fulfilled, you're going to want to stick around for this whole story. So 2008 rolls around and I read this book called Rich Dad Poor Dad. A real good friend of mine gave it to me, and it fundamentally changed how I thought about money and wealth. I realized I was trapped in the rat race, trading my time for dollars, no matter how many dollars there were. The book talked about assets that put money in your pocket versus liabilities that take money out. And I knew real estate could be that asset for me. I was inspired. I was motivated. I was ready to change everything. And then nothing. For the next 3 years, I became what the real estate world calls a tire kicker. I was the worst kind. I was active, but I wasn't productive. I read every real estate book I could get my hands on during those long flights. Rich Dad Poor Dad led me to more Kiyosaki books, then Brandon Turner, then anything on Bigger Pockets. I'd be sitting in seat 14A analyzing deals on a laptop while I was flying somewhere in the country. I went to real estate conferences. You know the ones where they promise you'll make millions of dollars in real estate with no money down. I'd book an extra day in whatever city I was already in for work and attend these seminars. I analyzed deals constantly. I'm talking 10, 12 deals every single week. Over 3 years, I analyzed more than 1,100 properties. I became an expert at running numbers from hotel rooms in Seattle and San Francisco and Chicago and anywhere else I was. I knew cap rates, cash on cash returns, the 1% rule, the 2% rule, the MAO. I knew them all theoretically. But you want to know how many offers I made in those 3 years? Zero. Not one. Analysis paralysis is a real thing. I was looking for that perfect no-brainer deal that just didn't exist. Every property had something wrong with it. This one needed too much work. That one over there was in the wrong neighborhood. This one's cash flow was too thin. That one was too expensive. This one had blue shutters. That one was white. But the real problem wasn't the deals. The problem was me. I was absolutely terrified. I had what people call golden handcuffs. We had a mortgage that was too big, cars that were too fancy, and a lifestyle that required my corporate income. My wife wanted to stay home with the girls, which I absolutely supported, but that meant the pressure was on me. I was scared to leave my comfort zone. I was scared to fail. I was scared to look stupid. And honestly, I was scared to succeed because success would mean I'd have to admit that I'd been playing it safe for all those years. Then in 2010, I met Amy Rio. Amy was a realtor here in Connecticut, and she was different. She and her husband, Will, didn't just sell houses, they flipped houses on the side. Amy really knew her stuff. We looked at a bunch of different properties together, but I kept finding reasons why each one wouldn't work. After a few months of this, Amy figured it out. I was just a tire kicker wasting her time. Then one day, Amy called me and she said something that really changed everything. She said, "I found a deal and I'm making you buy it." And she wasn't kidding. The deal was for a 4-family in East Hartford, Connecticut, $99,000. It was a mess. The previous owner had started renovating it, got overwhelmed, and literally left the keys on the counter and walked away. And Amy walked me through the property, pointed out everything that needed to be fixed. Here's what she showed me. It only needed about $15,000 more to make it clean, safe, and rentable. And I knew I could pull that from my savings account. Standing in the driveway, Amy filled out a purchase agreement right there on the hood. Meanwhile, I was coming up with all these excuses as to why I wasn't going to buy this property. She wrote up a full price offer. She handed me her pen and said, "Sign this effing deal or never call me again." She didn't say effing, by the way. "This deal isn't perfect. They don't exist, but this is a good deal. And over time, you're going to make cash flow and this will appreciate. And if you don't buy it, I will." I gingerly took the pen out of her hand and my hand was literally shaking as I signed that contract. But Amy was right about something else. She said, "You can't steer a parked car. You have to start moving before you can figure out the direction." That little 4-unit changed everything. Over time, that property netted me anywhere from $1,000 a month in net income to almost $2,000 a month when it came time to sell. I sold that property last April for more than $400,000. That one property made me almost $300,000 while I slept. But more importantly, it taught me that I could do this. I started flipping a couple houses. I used those profits to pay debt down and buy more rentals. Rinse and repeat. For 7 years, I built this system where every deal fed the next deal. And here's the beautiful part. Every month, those rental properties and flip houses were putting money in my pocket, whether I was in Seattle, London, or back home in Connecticut. I was finally building passive income. And in February of 2018, just about 10 years after reading Rich Dad, Poor Dad, my rental income had grown larger than what I was making at DocuSign. And I called my manager and I told him I quit. No more Marriotts, no more Hiltons, no more missing bedtime stories, no more Sunday scaries about flights the next morning. Since then, I've built a portfolio of nearly 200 rental units. I've helped hundreds of people through CT-REIA, Connecticut Real Estate Investors Association, and my own practice break free from their own corporate traps. And here's what I realized. Real estate isn't just about the money. It's about buying back your time. It's about building generational wealth for your family. It's about having control over your own destiny instead of hoping some corporate restructuring doesn't eliminate your position. Look, if you're watching this video, you're probably where I was in 2008. Successful on paper, but wondering if there's something better out there. Maybe you're tired of trading your time for dollars, no matter how many dollars they are. Maybe you want to build something that can't be taken away in the next corporate right size. Maybe you're just tired of cranking a wrench. I'm on a mission to help 1 million people use real estate to make their jobs optional. That might mean replacing your W-2 income completely, or it might just mean having enough passive income that you can't be held hostage by those golden handcuffs. If that's you, hit the subscribe button below and ring the notification bell. Every week, I'm going to break down real deals, real strategies, and tell you real stories from people who've made this transition. Corporate America will always be there if you want to go back. But your daughter's swim meets, your son's soccer games, those family dinners, you can't get those back. You only get 18 summers with these kids. And Amy was right. You can't steer a parked car. It's time to start moving. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.